Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Putra Halim. On this occasion, I will discuss about microculture and intercultural communication. So, let's start. First, we have to know the definition of microculture itself. According to PXI, microculture is an identifiable group of people who share a set of values, beliefs, and behaviors, and who possess a common history and verbal and non-verbal symbol system that is similar to, but systematically varies from the larger, often dominant cultural milieu. A microculture depends on the smallest units of organization, include different types of groups that could be classified by age, class, sexual preference, race, size, even occupation. Microculture has 5 characteristics. The first one is group shares physical or cultural traits. Membership is usually not voluntary. Endogamy, in-group marriage practice, often aware of subordinated status. Lastly, often experience unequal treatment from dominant group. We can find microculture anywhere. For example, in hobbies, microculture have many examples, such as animal lover community, motorcycle community, and football fan club, cosplayer community, gamer and fishing club, and the others. In family ties such as Karang Taruna, RT, and RW. On profession like PGRE, Persatuan Guru Indonesia, EDI, Ikatan Dokter Indonesia, PII, or Persatuan Insinyur Indonesia, Farmer Group. On religion, Indonesia has many religions like Islamism, Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, and Confucianism. In tribe, Indonesia also has many tribes such as Batak tribe, Jawa, Madura, Sunda tribe, and the others. On politics, many party politics like Golkar, Nasdem, PDIP, and Perindo. Lastly, on age, such as nursing house and student association. Number 2 is cultural dimension. Cultural dimension summarizes the extent to which cultural groups are found empirically to differ from one another in terms of psychological attributes such as values, belief, self-constructs, personality, and behaviors. Now I'm going to discuss 3 cultural dimensions, that is individualism, collectivism culture, monochronic, polychronic culture, and low context and high context culture. First is individualism and collectivism culture. Individualism cultures are those that stress the needs of the individual over the needs of the group as a whole. In this type of culture, people are also more independent as they are expected to achieve goals on their own. Collectivism culture is characterized by prioritizing group solidarity over individual goals. It sees long-term relationships that's important since it fosters the community's objective. The members of a people in a collectivist society can easily sacrifice their individual benefits for the sake of the whole society's progress. The second one is monochronic polychronic culture. The monochronic individual believes in finishing one task at a time. In their time culture, time is a valuable commodity that shouldn't be wasted, and sticking to one task at a time ensures that it's well managed. The monochronic culture schedules one event at a time in an orderly fashion. On the other hand, in the polychronic culture, employees can work on several tasks simultaneously. Polychronic individuals thrive on carrying out more than one task at the same time, as long as they can be executed together with a natural rhythm. For example, it's perfectly natural for the official to stamp the passport and take a phone call at the same time because these tasks require different parts of the body and different levels of concentration. The third one is low-high context culture. Low context cultures rely on explicit verbal communication. Communication occurs through explicitly spelled out and defined words, and listeners just have to interpret spoken or written words as they are. Germany, Sweden, and the United States are generally classified as low context culture. In contrast, high context culture are those in which the rules of communication are primarily transmitted through the use of contextual elements such as body language, a person's status, and tone of voice, and are not explicitly stated. India and Japan are classified as high context culture. Number three is barriers in intercultural communication. Some barriers can cause cultural noise. These barriers might lead to miscommunication and even conflicts. To be able to successfully interact with people from different cultures, we have to acknowledge these barriers and overcome them so that intercultural communication can take place. The first one is anxiety. The first barrier is high anxiety. When you're anxious because of not knowing what you're expected to do, it is only natural to focus on that feeling and not be totally present in the communication transaction. For example, you might have experienced anxiety on your very first day on the college campus or in a new job. You may be so conscious of being new and out of place and focus so much of your attention on that feeling that you make common mistakes and appear awkward to others. The second one is ethnocentrism. The second barrier to reflective intercultural communication is ethnocentrism, or negatively judging aspects of another culture by the standards of one's own culture. To be ethnocentric is to believe in the superiority of one's own culture. Everything in the culture is consistent to that culture and makes sense if you understood that culture. C. Negative attitudes towards culture that are different. The third barrier is a negative attitude towards cultures that are different from ours. Gibson defined attitude as the way people react to the opportunities to learn about other people's culture. Indonesian young teens, for instance, are interested in exploring the culture, speaking its language, eating its traditional food, and listening to its songs. With this attitude, they are more likely to further interact and communicate with people from this given culture. It shows that our negative attitude towards one particular culture is also influenced by collective experience as well as cultural belief and values that we hold. The stereotyping. Stereotype is another barrier that we may encounter in intercultural communication. Stereotyping is a psychological term to refer to judging somebody only based on our superficial knowledge of a person or a particular culture. The example of stereotyping in a cultural context are: first, Indians think Western people are more civilized, or those with African descent are violent. Cultural stereotyping may lead to our inability to understand people from other cultures. It can even cause conflicts, discrimination, and even mass murder. Five is negative perception. The next barrier is negative perception. Like attitude, it is also influenced by our cultural experience and most importantly, our prejudice against people who are different from us. Culture does not only affect people's lifestyle in society, but also the way they perceive other culture. Six is intercultural misinterpretation. Intercultural misinterpretation may also cause a significant problem in intercultural communication that leads to cultural noise. For example, people who from the collectivist culture may think those from the individualist culture are arrogant. On the other hand, people from the individualist culture may see those from collectivist culture as noisy. The interpretation of meaning, therefore, is very culturally dependent. It is strongly related to our cultural values and beliefs. This is why misinterpretation is likely to happen in intercultural interaction. Number four is critical thinking. Which cultural dimensions represent you or your culture? For me, my cultural dimension is low context, monochronic, and collectivism. Second one, what intercultural encounters you have ever experienced due to the different cultural dimensions you have with others? There are many, such as making friends with people that has different religion while I was elementary school and interact with people who speak English language from various countries on social media and many others. What cultural noise may result from the above cultural encounters? What is the best way to avoid it? I think is the cultural noise can cause from the cultural encounters is prejudice and stereotypes. The best way to avoid is be open-minded, maintain etiquette, and learn to always have a good attitude towards others. I think that's all I can say. Thank you very much for your attention. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.